So what do you do? What do you clean? What do you do with a knife that's really nice but's been left in a drawer and just completely thrashed? What do you do with that? How do you make it valuable again? I'm going to teach you guys. All right, so we're going to go over a couple of these knives, and we're going to use a very cheap sharpening system because I love doing that. I have expensive sharpening systems, but this is going to be the Victorinox dual knife sharpener. It's just one of these things I grabbed, and I like them. So yeah, so we'll check this out. Okay, so we're gonna turn it to the knives. We're gonna look at some modern knives, or more modern, and then something a little bit older. And it really doesn't even matter the age. So let's just not even talk about age. We're looking at 4 knives here. All right. All right, 4 knives. First thing is we want to find out the value of these, right? So we look up the value. You can find out the value of your knives pretty easy by looking them up on eBay, right? Doing some simple searches, right? So these are some Bulldog knives. So we know that these knives are generally very collectible. So these knives are very valuable, right? So you don't really want to just throw them in the trash bin, right? So this is something you want to preserve, spend some time on, right? Here's another knife, right? Well, this is a Kershaw Wild Turkey. Ooh, Japan, 4150. So something like this is very Moki-ish, Japanese, and Kershaw got a hold of it, right? So it's kind of collectible, but it's really trashed. It really is, and it's got a bent blade. So what do we do? Real nice blade. Ooh, pretty much unused, right? Real nice shape also. Walk and talk's nice. So this is not a knife I really want to what? Polish up, make it look brand new. I don't want to do that, right? So I want to preserve this knife, you know. I want to preserve its age, all right? All right. But this one has a slight patina on the bolsters here. So that's something that we might want to pay attention to. This one, on the other hand, just has some storage marks. That shouldn't be there. And I'm going to show you how to take care of those. Really easy. First, this one. This one we're not too concerned with. Okay. Now we don't want to spend too much time on these knives, because if we're spending too much time on these knives, we're not making money, right? Right. But if you want to spend more time on these knives, you can do this with a more milder method. But this is pretty mild. These are just polishing sticks, and that you can get at any kind of like beauty supply or something like that, right? So you want to use the mildest means possible. So that's pretty rough, right? Here's one right here. Ooh, this is nice. Pretty smooth. And it's the smoothest, right? So we'll start off with the medium and see if that does anything. And we're just going to rub it right on this shield right here. Because the shield has a lot of micro scratching on it. And that micro scratching makes the shield not look too pretty. And this is just a nice polishing stick. And we'll take the other side. And you know, sometimes a t-shirt can do this, guys. You really don't have to go to the polishing stick. So yeah, we'll rub it across the t-shirt. All right. Okay, so just a light touching. Now if you can see what the other side looks like, definitely doesn't look as nice as that. We have that little storage mark there. Let's take care of that. Take this, a little bit rougher, right? Let's use that pink side. We're gonna hit that up a little bit. If my desk makes some noise or whatever, I apologize. Let's see how that looks. All right, ooh, it's coming off. I'm gonna just zap it one time with a little bit of a rough one. Real easy. Real easy, guys. You want to watch out for your... I'm just lightly tapping this, all right? Let me make sure this camera's on. Don't want to waste my time or your time. And we're just going to keep on going like this. Zapped it, all right? We're going to do the pink side one more time. Now, what is the pink side? It doesn't really matter. It's something that's very slippery. These are polishing sticks. Ladies use them for their fingernails and stuff. Your mom or your girlfriend might actually have some of these. And you get the white side, which the white side typically is pretty smooth. That's a known polishing color. And so is that light gray. We all know that. That's a polishing color. And we're just lightly doing it, right? We're just going to wipe it down once, maybe put it on our clean t-shirt, wipe it on our chest a little bit, right? And check that out. Much better, right? So we didn't use too much time. And we got all that scratching and storage marks right there. We're not modifying this knife at all. All we're doing is cleaning it up. We're just getting rid of these micro scratches right along the back side. We're going to go in the same direction, because you are going to, if you do this in the wrong direction, you will scratch your knife. So if you go like this, you're going to have a scratch going straight across. When you do it with the polishing stick, you might even freak out the first time you do it, because you will have scratches all over the knife after you do this. I'll show you. If you kind of look at that, you have literally scratching going all the way down that knife. So you want to make sure that you're not going too deep. And we're going to go that white side. We're going to go down there. And you can feel it actually when you're doing it. You can kind of feel, it's almost like polishing a car. The first couple times you go over this, it's real rough, and you can kind of feel like the grittiness of whatever was deposited on the outside of this knife, which is usually dust and corrosion and just buildup or whatever. Now this, we're not polishing, we're not putting this to a buffing wheel, folks. This is not gonna look like that, okay? It's not gonna look like a buffing wheel did this, okay? It's not gonna be like that. Okay, and then we're gonna do our final. You guys probably hear the trash man. Yes, they come and pick up our trash. Yep. All right, so let's wipe this down, guys. We are off camera for a second, and let's check this out. Let's see what we did to this knife. All right. How's that look? All right, so that's just an easy way to make your knife look really good. You're not modifying it, you're not doing any funny business. You're just taking a polishing stick to it. You could also take a piece of leather with a little polishing compound on it, and that can also work too. And that kind of works pretty good on the bottom. You can kind of go like this. Now you're not going to do it too fast, or you are going to get that polishing effect, that over polishing effect. It's like a warping of the knife. This is not a warping. And this knife is made to be pretty sparkly clean. This is a bulldog knife. Isn't that beautiful? All right, so what's next? We have, same thing with this. We could touch up, look at that shield. I kind of like the bolstering on that. You do have a little bit of storage marks there, but look at the color difference. It's actually taken on a really nice patina. I don't want to mess that up. I really don't. So I am going to take a light side on the shield itself, and I'm going to watch it to make sure that yellow patina doesn't go away, which the patina usually is just a little bit deeper than those micro scratches. Those micro scratches sometimes are scratches that have collected dust and grime and dirt and all the other things around the elements, and you're still going to maintain that patina. So what I did is I just used the gray side just like that, all right, and I just lightly touched that shield with it, and you still have that yellowish patina on there. Now the back side could use a little bit of brushing, just a little bit, because this one is patinaed. Don't you love how I pronounce that? That is incredible. Patinaed. We're gonna go like that. All right, now see how we did that? All right, so we have this buck. What are we gonna do? I do not want to mess up this patina at all. I'm thinking, this is what I'm thinking with that knife. I'm thinking we need to grab a toothbrush. Yes, sir. We are going to grab a toothbrush. We're going to grab our mineral oil, which you can get from the laxative section. And believe it or not, I did a video on that quite a long time ago, and that did take off, and I'm glad it did. A lot of people are in the school of thought of mineral oil, and I am glad you guys are, because I stored my knives for 4 years, and they were just in plastic bags in mineral oil, and I've tested my theory out, and yeah, they do not corrode. Now, something that can happen with mineral oil is if you have a knife with clear bone handles, and you put it in a plastic bag, and it has brass, okay? It's not going to corrode, but for some reason there is going to get some discoloring of your bone handles, and sometimes the bone handles can take on that coloring. So you might have a little bit of blue tint or green tint that's actually been absorbed into that knife. And some people might not like that. Myself, it doesn't really bother me too much, but when it comes to white bone handled knives, you always want to be careful, because bone handles, bone in general, is porous and it will take on different colors, whether you keep it in your jean pocket or whatever. And that's why a lot of people like the natural bone handle. So what we're doing here is we're just taking a toothbrush and we're cleaning up with a firm hand this Buck 110. And these are very collectible. They're beautiful knives and they have quite a following. And the last thing you want to do is over clean this knife. And like I said, if a Buck guy wants to do it, by golly, go right ahead. It's your knife. You can do whatever you want. I'm gonna get that knife to you, and you can decide what you want to do with it, right? All right, so we've got this thing, we got it all polished up. Let that sit just a little bit, just a little. So we have that sitting. My goodness, you know what I don't have? I do not have a rag. Now something I noticed about this Buck 110 is the blade. The blade edge has been sharpened and used, but that's not a big deal. So you can list a knife like this in good condition, if not very good condition, depending on age. You can kind of, you know, what's expected of a used knife of this age. But you can clean up that edge a little bit. And I'm going to show you how to do that real quick without removing much and without spending a couple hours sharpening it up. It's not your job to sharpen up someone else's knife for them, unless they request it. Sometimes people request, they say, hey, it's going to be a user, would you mind throwing a nice edge on there for me? And I can always do that for you. All right, so let's see how this looks. Here we go. Nice and cleaned up. It's preserved. There's no active corrosion going on or gooey, sticky, nasty stuff going on. That's a nice clean knife. So we're going to take our... So this thing has two sides. It's got a ceramic side right there. And you have just your standard sharpener. Sure, let's clean this up just a little bit. And when we're doing that, we're just kind of lifting it off. We're kind of like... just like you're flying off a skateboard ramp, right? Keeping it at the same angle. Same thing when it's coming towards you. Watch out, don't cut your hand. Nice and easy. We're just cleaning this edge up, just making it look a little bit nicer. Then we're going to take it right here on this little ceramic thing, very lightly. Let's do a test run first. Inspect. Make sure you're not scratching the blade while you do that. That is fine. Nice and easy. Sometimes that thing can scratch your blade, so just be careful. But it really does put a nice, beautiful edge on a knife very quickly. All right, there we go. That's nice. All right, so we still got some scratching, but that's a suitably cleaned Buck 110 folder. So this one is going to require quite a lot of love. You have a bent blade, so what do? We're going to flip it on over. We have a ton of storage marks. Come on, what are we going to do here? We're going to take this. You could actually set it on your leather, right? Let's hear that desk wiggle. Let's hear that desk wiggle. Now, something I do notice is the rivets become much more prominent when you do that. And that's because those rivets are a harder material than the bolsters, the metal bolsters. So we want to be conscious of that. Then we want to transition into the wood. Now on the back side, I noticed that we do have brass liners, and those are kind of cool. Now check those out. I want to maintain some of that patina on that, so I want to be conscious of that. So I'm just not going to go buck wild crazy when it comes to doing this. So we're going to do one side first so you guys can see the before and after. Oh, I already started on the other side. Oh well. It's just quick. We're just doing this really quick now. We're not going for like a custom knife job here. There's just a nail file, nail polishing stick. Now what we're doing here is there's a bunch of like little boogers in here and larger deposits of corrosion. We're just knocking those off. Knocking them off really quick. Leave it at that. Leave it at that, because that's brass. I don't want to polish that brass up. Just right along that brass, just knock it off just a little bit. Ooh. And now see, this patina is a little bit thicker in some areas. So that's where people's thumbs go. So that would leave their thumb oils there, which would collect more corrosion and dust. So we're gonna even that out. Nice and easy. Oh yeah, keep an eye on what you're doing. Watch out, make sure you're not gonna stab yourself in the wrist. We're just going to transition to the other side because I already started on the other side with something else. All right, notice it's getting a little bit cloudy. That clouding will go away. What that clouding is actually you removing material off the top of the surface of the blade. It's getting deposited inside the wood. In order to remove that, you're going to remove that with mineral oil, and I'm going to show you guys how to do that next. See, it's got that cloudy look. That will not change as we polish. It's not like metal. So it's not like the metal that's looking a little bit hazy because we have some scratching on there. That will sharpen up as we use different polishing compounds, right? Polishing sticks. All right, so this is, I don't want to spend too much time because like I said, we're getting too crazy with this. Watch out with the blade. We'll do the blade. I'll do the blade at another juncture. All right, we're just doing the inside of this. All right, so let's switch on over to the white side. White's right? Oh my goodness, he's so full of jokes. And then we go like this. Just like this. We're going over it like that. Ooh, yeah. Ooh, I like that. I like it like that. And then we flip it on over to the gray side. Watch out that you don't stab yourself. Hold on that blade nice and tight. Some people could wrap the blade with tape. I think it's a mess. Don't do that. Okay, that looks good enough. And then the blade. With the blade, we have a nice bend in it. So what we're going to do is we're just going to hit that blade a couple times. 1, 2, being conscious that we're not nicking that bend. What do you mean nicking it? Because whichever way that's bent, which is this way, I could be hitting that and it's going to knock that tip off, because this stuff will knock that tip off. Real easy. And up, and up, and up. Oh yeah. Let's see how that looks. Oh yeah. And then we're going to no scratching. You can also do this with your polishing compound with your blade edge. Ooh, that puts a nice polish on that. All right. Nice and sharp. All right, let's clean that blade up just a little bit. Clean down the spine. All right, so right now we still have the cloudiness. It's getting a little less cloudy. And then we're going to brush it up with your mineral oil. Just dump a little right there. Just like that. See how I did that? Isn't that incredible? Oh! Man, I tell you. Some people have jobs doing this. And we're going to rub it into there. Rub it into that wood. Rub it into the grain of the wood. We're going to flip that on over. We're going to wipe it down that blade. Can you get into there? This is going to look so good, guys. Very quickly, and it's going to make someone happy. Where this knife is collectible, but not too collectible, but we cleaned her up. Okay. Then we're going to go like so. Okay, let's see how this looks. Remember, time, guys, right? Some of us have huge knife collections. Now, if you want to do a bigger, more detailed thing, go right ahead. Just more time. All right, let's see how this looks. It's got some nice grainy wood. Look at that. That looks really nice. That wood looks almost like wormwood. It's looked really nice. Beautiful. Came out real good. And we didn't over clean it. It still has its charm. It's well lubricated still. I can probably clean in there a little bit. Use that with a smaller tool. Yeah, that wood came out real nice. Real beautiful. All right, well, I hope you guys enjoyed that. You know, don't over clean your knives. Some you have to get a little bit tougher with, right? So which one do we get tough with? We got to polish the heck out of this one, right? This one, you know, we had to make some considerations. We didn't want to lose that beautiful yellow. And then this one, right? So these are all things that you have to look at when you're cleaning your knives, and that way you don't destroy your collection. That way you're improving it. You're actually making your knife a better knife collection. It's like, these are better knives now. These are better knives. These are all knives that you could bring to your knife meetup and be like, check out this cool knife I got. Made in Japan, a Kershaw. And then I could tell you the whole history about this particular knife. There's a lot of history on this knife, and I could do a whole video on this particular knife and so many different models just like this that are made by so many different companies. Just a really nice knife. Great design. Whole lot of knife in a very small package. So cool. All right, later. Bye. Man, that was a video.